Hello and welcome back to my blog. My name is Jack Hill, and this entry into the blog is going to be on the 2006 movie The Prestige, directed by Christopher Nolan. I want to let you know that this movie contains a major plot twist. I will be going over my general review at the beginning, before mentioning any spoilers. However, if you would like to go into the movie completely blind, I recommend that you stop watching this video and come back after you have seen the film. It's been over 12 years since The Prestige was in theaters, and during that time I only ever heard positive things about the movie. So going into my first viewing, I had very high expectations, not just because of everything I'd heard, but also because I'm a big fan of Christopher Nolan. I've really enjoyed every Nolan movie that I've seen. I really like Inception, the Dark Knight trilogy, and Dunkirk. Because of my extremely high expectations and the fact that I went in knowing the twist, I was really prepared to be let down when I saw the film. But I wasn't disappointed. The movie is actually very excellent. It was gripping from start to finish, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. The film managed to captivate me despite already knowing the twist, which certainly speaks to its potential for repeat viewings. And please, 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 go watch this movie if you haven't, and from this point on, I will be talking about spoilers. Welcome back. I hope you're still here. The story of The Prestige follows two magicians, Angier and Borden. At the beginning of their careers, they're friends and colleagues. However, after a fatal accident with Angier's wife, they go on to become bitter rivals. They begin devoting all of their time to creating more and more elaborate and impressive tricks. They do this in order to become the best magicians in London, and also to sort of humiliate and one-up the other magician. The most important trick that either magician comes across is teleportation. Borden is the first to debut a teleportation trick, and he calls it the teleporting man, and this causes Angier to become obsessed. Now, the rest of the movie follows Angier's increasingly dangerous attempts to best Borden at his teleportation trick, and it really explores how far two men are willing to go to be the best. The most important part of the thriller is the twist ending. If the twist wasn't convincing or fulfilling and didn't act as a good payoff, I feel like the entire film's dramatic tension would fall apart. Luckily, like with all aspects of Nolan movies, the twist is of a very high caliber. In fact, the movie can be viewed as having two twists, the first involving Borden and his twin, and the second being the means by which Angier eventually replicates Borden's greatest trick. The second twist surrounding Angier surprised me and made me enjoy the movie much more. The direction in the movie is meticulous. Every scene is crafted to a T. Christopher Nolan did a wonderful job building an interesting and believable world. I was fully convinced that the movie was taking place in a realistic reality right up until the end of the movie, when they revealed some of the science fiction elements. The setting and costumes were beautiful. I love period films and British accents, so I had a really fun time with the movie's depiction of 19th century England. The score of The Prestige was written by David Julian, and the score is absolutely beautiful as well. Afterwards, I learned that it was written to mirror the three-part structure of a magic trick, which they refer to throughout the movie. And it's amazing. Oftentimes I feel like you don't even hear it because it fits in so well. It really elevates the movie. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the performances in the films. They were wonderful all around. Christian Bale has an extraordinarily difficult job. He had to portray two very similar characters, but somehow find ways to make them distinct. He certainly proved himself more than equal to the task. Hugh Jackman does a terrific job as well. He is perfectly capable of carrying the movie along with Christian Bale. He never seems less than Christian or worse. They do a very good job bouncing off of each other. And Michael Caine, he's an acting legend. He's been He's been in Hollywood, longer than my parents have been alive. He's one of my favorite actors, and I always enjoy the work he does for Christopher Nolan. Rebecca Hall, the actress that portrays Borden's wife, she in many ways is the emotional core of the film, and she impressed me. She impressed me a lot, and what ends up happening to her by the end of the movie really broke my heart. The only performance that I wasn't a huge fan of was Scarlett Johansson. And I thought she didn't bring a whole lot to her role. I wasn't really invested in her as a love interest, but that might have just been the way she was written. I wasn't. I'm not sure. I've never thought of Scarlett Johansson as a really incredible dramatic actor or actress. I mean, it wasn't like she did a bad job. I just felt like they probably could have cast someone who would do better. Once again, my final thoughts on the movie: it's wonderful. It's fantastic. Even with the twist, it certainly holds up to repeat viewings, and I would recommend it to anyone. Thank you for watching.